no matter what. I am feeling great.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to Godlywood studio, welcome back to Light of Knowledge. We were discussing about powers and we are storehouses of powers, but only when we focus on our powers it become useful for us, because the theory is whatever you focus on will develop, and whatever you take your focus from, it will diminish and it will lose its credential and credibility. So let us focus on the positive so that it grow. And dear friends, today we are taking up a wonderful power, or we can say two powers simultaneously, because one is the power to forget and one is the power to remember. We need to remember certain things and we need to forget certain other things. The greatest tragedy in life is we forget that we want to remember and we remember that should be forgotten. So let it not happen to us, and let us discuss the wonderful aspects of these two powers along with Rupa Behenji. Behenji, welcome to the show. Welcome to the discussion.
Thank you.
Talking about these two powers, that is power to remember and power to forget. We all know that power to remember the good things, power to remember the things where we have kept them, all these things are very important, but sometimes we need to forget certain things also. So how do you explain this? How can we apply these two powers?
A remembrance, usually every individual do remember one or the other thing, one or the other person, one or the other incident. So these are all remains in our memory, which really I have appreciated. Or maybe I have experienced joy naturally, and that has remained in my subconscious level. And therefore there is a memory bank in which these things are hidden. Anytime I want to remember, immediately I can visualize all that. But people usually feel difficult when they want to particularly remember something and they think I should not forget this that I have kept here.
Behenji, let us first talk about the very common occurrence which happens everywhere. We forget a lot of things we have put somewhere, and then most of our time is wasted in trying to find it, searching for it. How can I train my mind so that I don't forget any things which I kept?
First of all, whenever you are keeping a thing, maybe a beautiful vase or a beautiful gift somebody has given inside the cupboard or anywhere, wherever you feel it is safe, say to your mind, I will remember this vase that I have kept here. This is a positive thought we are giving. Usually what we think inside our mind, oh, I am keeping here, I should not forget. Hope that I will remember. I may forget, that's why I am keeping here. So what is the suggestion we are giving to your subconscious mind? We are going to forget. So the word forget, when I feed inside the subconscious mind, that will not have an analyzation whether it is right or wrong. So after some time, some days, I feel somewhere I have kept here, but that spot will be forgotten. So first thing, we have to give only positive thought that I will remember I have kept this pen inside my cupboard. If you want to remember something, initially if it is very difficult for you, take a small diary and note down 1, 2, 3, 4 and in alphabetical order, or sometimes cupboard C. This is also one kind of mental exercise, and to remember too many things within short time. Like think you are a boss in the office and you have to remember many files and many pending work. At that time always you cannot rely upon somebody. Then whenever you are free, just ask your mind to remember the files where you have kept. You need not go and touch or take and see, but visualization. So if you are keeping in your mind, oh, these orange files I have kept here, these black files I have kept in this cupboard, just remember, that's all. And that will be restored again in your consciousness. This is one way. In workplace or at home, personal things to be kept and remember, we can do this. But it is very easy to remember if at all we are paying attention while we are acting. Usually what happens, whenever I am keeping something valuable thing, my mind is out of that presence, that place, but I am simply keeping. So action is done, but thoughts are not present along with that action. So, paying attention along with the action, you can remember what you have done, what you are doing, and where you have kept all these things.
Placing material things in a particular place and finding it later without searching for it. Definitely, these techniques can be used. But talking about the presence of mind, which you just mentioned, mind usually wanders. And if at that particular moment my mind is not there, then I don't even remember that I have come through this place and I have kept it somewhere here. We need to give a little bit of attention into these intricacies of the mind to make it right, or what shall we do?
See, whenever your mind is occupied with too many things, too many thoughts, or maybe some worry, it is inside your deeper level where it is not allowing you to concentrate in the outer world. It is better not to do immediately too many tasks. Sit in a quiet place, ask your mind what is that the best thing you can do now. And important, prioritize work 1, 2, 3, 4 you can write down, and immediately what is to be done, necessary thing, you can do it. And what is the problem really worrying your mind, you have to find out why your mind is wandering, why it is not able to be attentive, because when you don't pay attention in your work, you don't enjoy the work also.
I think sometimes it so happens that when I have a lot of things to do, when some urgent deadline is coming near, and then suddenly I find that I have left all these things undone. Everything comes up the last moment. Then I forget a lot of things, and it is quite personal for me. I do forget a lot of things. Should I plan more in a better way, or what shall I do?
See, because you think it is too much for you, therefore mind immediately becomes like absence. Oh, this many work I have to do, and that too with so short time. So that thought itself is having a negative pressure. And so there is a kind of not exactly fear, but kind of nervousness inside. Whether I can do or not, is there anybody to help me or not, and within that time limit, whether I can complete it or not. So many thoughts of doubts.
Benji, personally speaking, I have noted that even though I don't have any kind of nervousness, even though I don't have any kind of fear, still I tend to forget certain things. Because at the last moment I have to run around for completing that particular task at hand. My spectacle, or like my watch, or like my mobile, I keep it somewhere, then I totally go blank as to where I have kept it. I do find it back, but I haven't even any slightest idea that I have kept it here. How does it go so blank?
That is because one is, we are so careless about our particular things. I don't feel that absolute responsibility, and it is also one way that we are dishonoring our things.
But at other times it doesn't happen. It only happens at moments when like this some deadline is coming and I find that I haven't prepared fully. In such occasion this happens.
That is why there is some slight stress inside your mind. You may not feel actually it is nervousness, but it's a very slight triggering kind of stress which is making you feel really like a not focused with your activities. So at that time, sit in a quiet place at least for 1 or 2 minutes and look around. What are the things you have to do? Okay. And immediately what is to be done, you just say, okay, this much I will do now. And don't club all the things at a time in your mind. That will create blurriness. Like if a driver knows the way, it is easy to take the vehicle. But he is having the vehicle, he knows driving, but not knowing where to go. Then definitely there will be confusion. And this is what happens even in our mind also. So mind is there, it will remind. Many times it is the best friend for us. It will constantly say, look, you are keeping here. It is falling down, take care. All things it will be suggesting. But when there is no way, like a driver doesn't know where to go, like mind doesn't know what to do, we have not given a clear command, then that blurriness will come.
Many have suggested me that when to avoid such last minute rush, you plan everything beforehand. make a written plan, a to-do list, so that you can work out from a written list. Definitely this has helped me immensely, and I have even been told that prior proper planning prevents poor performance. They call it the 6P rule. So I have been trying to practice this, and definitely it has helped me. So this kind of planning, how far can it take a person forward?
See, if it is small things, you can plan in your mind simply. You need not take a pen or book or all this thing. Like you want to go to market, buy some things, you are going to forget even small things. Then in my experience, what I do, I will just count how many things I have to bring from the market. Maybe 5 things, 10 things. Then I don't want to write in a piece of paper, but what are those things, I will just count in my mind. Oh, these are the things. While coming back from there, I will check whether all 10 things are there. This is one way. But if people who are not able to remember even in this way, then take a small paper and just write down 1, 2, 3, 4, that's okay.
Okay, so writing down is absolute basic.
Writing
where we
down
can start.
is going to make a habit of remembering. Mind gets trained by that. You do regularly, then it becomes easy for you. Even without writing also you can remember. But even now, though we remember everything, whenever I want to travel from one place to another place, what are the things we have to carry, we know absolutely. Yet I have a habit to make a list. And then before packing, all things are there, packed or not, I will check and then do it. So why? Because it is not going to have more pressure on our mind. Otherwise, we are overconfident. Oh, no problem. These are small things I can take. I will remember. But finally, those small things only we were in need, and we would have forgotten.
That is right, Behenji. We overlook the importance of keeping everything in mind, and sometimes if it is not possible, then writing down is also an option, because it will save us a lot of precious time at the last moment. Remembering the important things in life, it is, I think, very essential for our journey forward, because usually we remember some unpleasant incident. It comes to the mind naturally. So how can we override these negative images?
See, remembering in life is most important, because if anybody has lost the memory power, I would say there is no life for them. Because remembrance, there is life. I recognize people, relations, things, and wants and don't wants. All the things, if I have in memory only, I have a choice of life. When there is no remembering power, that means no life, no choice. So only what we have to take care is what to remember and what not to remember. First of all, remember everybody's name, whomever you meet, as much as possible. Because whenever you meet constantly some people, you should be able to remember, like your subordinates' names, your friends' names, neighbors' names, and your relations, those who are closely related, those people's name. And whenever they are younger to you, then call by their name. They feel very happy.
Here there are two different things. I have known many people with contradictory statements. Some say that I can remember names very well, but I can't recall the face. And there are other people who say that I remember the face very well, but I cannot remember the name. So is it due to some differences in the, as the psychologists say or the neurologists say, the differences between the right and left hemisphere of the brain? How does this happen?
This happens when we have met that person sometimes long ago. Repeatedly, we might have heard the name, but face, of course, sometime like 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 1 year ago, if we have seen, maybe that face is not very clear. But remembering names, that is very important. People forget names and usually they remember faces. Both are equal actually. So whenever we remember the name, we should visualize their face also, and that will help us to identify person's character and also relationship, all these things. So forgetting the face because it is not regularly we are in contact with that person.
I think that is even more dangerous, because even forgetting names, still if you are able to remember the face, at least we can show a pleasant emotion on my face. But if I totally can't recall the face, and when I have to ask the person, have you met before, that becomes a ridiculous situation.
Yes, but we can always get the information by request. Even I have confusion with something, it all happens because the way you lead your life. Maybe you are engaged with too many tasks and not able to remember all other things. And maybe sudden some sad situation has come on your way, and suddenly your all energy has been focused with one task and one person or one event. Then definitely maybe so many pleasant mood and pleasant pictures, pleasant memories, we will forget naturally. We have to just ask the introduction, not to show that we have forgotten completely.
Benji, that is of course something we can do, but still I think we need to train our mind in such a way that we don't forget either names or faces, because still when the other person understands that we have forgotten him, it creates a feeling in his mind that
Yes.
this person has forgotten me.
Every individual have their own capacity to remember. In this regard, I remember our beloved Dadi Prakash Maniji, former chief of Brahma Kumaris. She was having a wonderful memory power. What was the amazing thing? How many times you visit Mount Abu, and you see she will be meeting thousands of people, hundreds of people from different corners of the world. Yet, in my experience from my childhood, I have seen her. Whenever I come in front of her, she will definitely call me by my name. I was really wondering, she is more than 70 years old, and how is that she is able to remember my name? Because all BKs having same uniform, same appearance, there can be some confusion. But to my amazement, she has never forgot. Not only my experience, it is the experience of many brothers and sisters. And that is the quality of a leader.
Some great person has said that when you remember their names, they will never forget you. So it is a good technique for interpersonal relation. What about the other occasions when we are meeting a person just for a few minutes, and then I have to recall him, remember him when he asked, do you remember me? In such occasions, what can we do?
Usually, you see, my practice is whenever I meet somebody and they want to contact in future also, then immediately I take down their name and phone number. And also with little bit of introduction, maybe for what cause they have come, their background or profession, so that whenever I see the phone numbers, then I remember that person also. This is one way that we can remember people. And remembrance, not only names and things like that, but in life we want to move sweetly and having all good memories in our mind. I think always to hold in our subconscious mind the most good things has happened throughout our life. Good people whom we have met, good things that I have come across, and good places that I have visited. So always it is nice to recall again and again.
Benji, since we are coming into the end of the session, can you give some quick tips as to how we should forget those unpleasant memories? Because that is also important as remembering the good things. How can we do that?
See, forgetting bad things, so-called bad things. Why we call it bad things? Because whenever I remember those events or people, I feel unhappy. Maybe I am tortured or harmed or deceived or whatever the sequence may be. So I want to forget that person, forget that event, forget that situation, but that is coming again and again in my mind. I am pushing back, but it is coming back to me. That is because we have not learned anything from that situation. We have not learned anything from that person, nor I have allowed that person to go away from my life in my mind. How I can do that? I have to forgive with love and then learn one at least simple lesson and move forward. I have not left it. So how can I forget? So this is very beautiful exercise in meditation we do. Okay, you can't forgive because you don't have strength. The pain is so deep that you can't forgive. Okay, then in meditation we remember God as the greatest healer and ask Him to give me strength to forgive that person. And say from now onwards goodbye to that event, goodbye to that person. Any word you say and move forward. Then you see, once you have forgiven means you feel light. And when you are feeling lighter, that heavy things will be slowly, slowly erased in your mind.
Let us have a meditation on that, because really these two powers to remember and power to forget, this can be enlightened and awakened through meditation.
Let us have a beautiful thought that God gives us to remember always, that we all once upon a time we were in the golden age, which was perfect world, God's kingdom. And now once again we want to move to that world. So for that I have to purify my soul. This thought should be deeper, so that any kind of sad things has occupied my mind, that will slowly get erased. Sit in a comfortable position. Visualize a beautiful, perfect world in front of you. Where every individual, everyone feels filled with joy and happiness. Everything is abundant in this world of truth. All souls have descended from the world of souls, Paramdham. Each soul is adorned with absolute truth and purity. Their each action is pure and giving. I was a perfect being like this in the world of truth, that is golden age. This is also praised as age of happiness. Nobody knows what is sorrow. No trace of sorrow is visible. But as I come down with taking many births, I have lost my inner happiness, occupied with many negative thoughts and memories. And day by day, I started feeling heaviness, sadness. And now I struggle to remember good things and forgive bad things. Now I connect my mind to the Almighty ocean of happiness, by which I draw the power of happiness, which makes my mind lighter. When I feel light, I remember all positive things. With this awareness of positive remembrance, slowly all the negativities are fading away, getting dissolved, disappearing. Mind is becoming quite fresh, clean, and once again I fill myself with all positive memories and spread the happiness into this universe. Om Shanti.
During the meditation, It was so peaceful, and I think this peaceful time is really helping us to remember the good things and forget the old, because ultimately that is the main thing to do. So thanks a lot for the discussion. Thanks a lot for the meditation.
Thank you.
So that's all, friends, for today. The power to forget and power to remember. Let us remember the good things which happened to us, and let us try to forget the unpleasant and the bad, because that is not at all useful. It takes up valuable time, and our time is wasted. And then one fine morning we find that we have a lot of problems in front. So let us take time every day to sit and meditate and to try to awaken these powers of remembering the good and forgetting the bad. So thanks a lot for joining, and if you have any doubt and or if you have any suggestion, you can always call us on our number, or you can send an email. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you very much.